Good evening to you all. Today, we are commencing or continuing our program on the education of our dream, the Nigerian education of our dream. And our topic today is on how to manage stress and build resilience. How to manage stress and build resilience. We are all welcome to this informative presentation on stress management and resilience building. Discover practical techniques to overcome stress and develop resilience. And
Good
most of
evening.
the times, somebody starts asking, what is stress? What is stress? We need to explore the true meaning of stress and its impact on our physical and mental well-being. We will be learning also about resilience as the ability to bounce back from adversity and adapt positively to life's challenges. It then means that resilience does not necessarily mean absence of adversity or absence of challenges or absence of problems. It simply means that despite all the challenges, despite all the adversity, despite all the problems, you develop that ability to bounce back and adapt positively. Adaptation could be negative in the sense that the person may start recoiling, but when an adaptation is positive, it means you still continue to forge ahead and face the challenges ahead. That is resilience. Now, what is its impact? And then what are the symptoms of stress? The physical symptoms. There are a lot of various physical signs and symptoms that can indicate high level of stress. A lot of symptoms. Then on emotional effects, in this discussion, we'll be exploring the emotional impact of stress and how it can affect our mood, relationships, and overall well-being. Now, somebody may start asking, what are personal stressors? What are those things that actually causes stress? Common stressors can arise from even your workplace. Yes, somebody's work can be a stressor. And that is why in handling stress, that the stress causer or the stressor is work, you develop what we call planning your work days, planning your office. Because in planning your office, you'll be able to use different methods, either by after consecutive stay for like 3 hours. That is, it will seems like every 3 hours after serious work, you get up and then just relax your body, move, give yourself like 30 minutes break, and then you come back to the work again. Meaning that working hard is not a stressor itself on its own, but working without having intermittent times of break may now make your work as a stressor. Relationship as well can even be another stressor. We really need to explore how relationships can contribute to stress and learn effective communication techniques. If you don't want your relationship to be a stressor, you really need to learn how to communicate effectively in whatever kind of relationship, for those that are married, for those that are friends, for those that have colleagues, for those that are, let's say, administrators, heads of departments, those you really have one thing or the other to do with, and you know they can actually affect your emotions. You need to learn how to effectively communicate with such people in order not to be stressed. Then, of course, financial pressures is another thing. And that is why naturally, when you see people who are financially stressed, somebody will say more money, less stress. Sometimes it's not actually more money, less stress, but even if you have much money and you don't manage your resources well, you will still be stressed. So you need to develop what we call effective budgeting and saving strategies, meaning that at all times and in all places, you may not be having much money, but your basic needs are being taken care of. And you realize that the moment the little you have can take care of your basic needs, then you will have less stress. But even when you have too much and then you have not planned, you realize that when what you need or what you want to achieve at a particular time, your money is never enough or your resources is never enough to achieve that, then you must be stressed. Then life transition is another thing. We really need to discover stressors associated with major life challenges and techniques to navigate them successfully. What are we saying here? A young person, a young child now who is still under the management, the taking care of, that is being taken care of by parents. When such person needs anything, the parents provide that without questioning. Such person cannot be under any stress. But when you now transit into when you have to look for your own sources of income yourself, you realize that you will start getting stressed. And not only that, by the time a young adult now move into, for example, marriage, in marriage, another level of stress start coming in. By the time you start having kids, another level of stress. When your kids are grown up and not behaving well, another level of stress. When now your children are of marriageable age and maybe not yet married, another level of stress, and then when you yourself, by the time now you cross like over 50, and then you are entering into menopause for women, and then a lot of menopausal signs that are painful and the rest of them, it's another stress of its own. For even young people, pregnancy is another kind of stress. So life transition as a whole has its own level of stress. And what you need to do is to understand your own level of life at any particular time. And then you start handling whatever is the stage you are in. Now, let's discuss effective stress management techniques. One of the commonest ways of managing stress is breathing exercise. Breathing exercise. You learn simple breathing techniques to reduce stress and promote relaxation, which means you take a very deep breath. You breathe in, take in deep. And then after some seconds, you breathe out. You release the air. So this breathing exercise, some people may think is some people may not really know, the importance of this, but I tell you, it reduces stress. When sometimes you just realize that you are sweating unnecessarily, and then you just know that something is wrong with your system, you can take breathing exercise. It's really going to help you. Another thing again is physical activity. Physical activity, that is normal exercise, walk, brisk walking, normal strolling, for those who are still young, gym and the rest of them. But of course, at every age, you should always know the kind of exercises that is good for you, that wouldn't really stress you. Because there are some kinds of exercise, physical exercise, that a particular age may take it and it is working. But another age will take it, the same exercise, and you realize that it is becoming more of stress. Then mindfulness. You need to really discover mindfulness practices to calm the mind, increase self-awareness, and then reduce stress. What am I trying to say about mindfulness? you really need to cautiously tell yourself why you don't need to be stressed. And then when you realize that there are indicators of stress, mindfully, cautiously, consciously tell yourself that you don't need this. And so if it is for some people who generate some common words that they can use, you realize that at such times, such person may start saying some words repeatedly. For some people, we call it, generally we call it mantra. That it is a mantra, it means, for example, somebody may start telling himself, it's well with me, it's well with me. Or maybe if it's a struggle in the office, you can start telling yourself, it's well, it will be handled, it will be handled. That's just calm yourself. Meaning that one of the best ways to handle stress is that you consciously tell yourself, you consciously call yourself to attention so that you'll be able to handle stress. Now, that is about stress, because I really want to take some of all these things very brief. Now, developing resilience. Remember, I said at the initial stage or at the introductory part of this presentation that resilience does not necessarily mean absence of challenges or troubles or obstacles. It is actually the ability to be ahead, even when challenges exist. That is what is called resilience. So how do you develop resilience? Growth, you need to have what you call growth mindset. There is this the resilience of thriving. You need to cautiously thrive. You see, you need to explore the power of a growth mindset in building and overcoming obstacles. That is, continuously grow from one level to the other. You don't need to remain where you have always been, or whatever weighs you down today shouldn't weigh you down tomorrow. Then you need to build a support network. Discover the importance of building strong connections and seeking support during challenging times. What do I mean by this? You can have those who are your counselors. And then this is where I really need now to talk much, because those you associate with actually determine a lot if your stress level will rise or if your stress level will go down. There are those who all that they bring around you is negative news. Oh, this is not going to work. Oh, can't you see that it's not working? Oh, can't you see that you are behind schedule? Can't you see that you are behind time? Can't you see, have you heard that this our cosmate or this one have already bought one Lamborghini, has built some 20 houses somewhere, owns the largest estate now in Abuja, and you are still here. You are still living in a rented apartment. When you have such relationship, that all that they bring to you is to tell you how you are not achieving, how you are not meeting up, how you are not being the best around. It is an increase onto your stress level. And so for you to build resilience, you have to cautiously choose those you relate with. Sometimes it is not arrogance when you deliberately deter yourself and detach yourself from some negative relationship. If it is for young people, people who bully you, who beat you, who body shame you, who hide shame you, who nose shame you, all those kind of things. Stay clear from them, because you have your life to live and you really need to build your own resilience. Then positive thinking. Severally, people have talked so much about positive thinking in life. And the thought of your heart actually shapes your life. If all you see about Nigeria, for example, is that nothing good, Nigeria don't scatter. Nigeria, nothing is working. Nothing will be working for you. But you realize that in the same Nigeria where you say nothing is working, a lot of things are working for some people. So it then means that it is their thinking. And then self-care. You see, sometimes people don't even know that it is good to go for your medical checkup, to check when you realize that this appointment, you can't keep it or you can't make it. Sometimes some people, please, you are invited to so occasion at so time. You are already stressed. But because you want to go and please some people, you just go. And then at the end, your BP rises there. Maybe you forget that you have not taken your medication. Your BP rises and you slump. And then somebody will say, but we were all together and this person just slumped. Your self-care is very important. You need to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody will do that for you. Then, what is the importance of self-care? Self-care actually gives us mental well-being. Mental well-being. You need to really discover your self-care practices to nurture your mental well-being and promote emotional balance. Your mental well-being is very, very necessary. If you are not mentally balanced, there is actually nothing you'll be able to do and do it well. But you realize that you can actually do it yourself. And that is why myself as a person, it's not just every link or every news on the social media that I have to click and then watch. Some things that there are some things that will just come and break you down. You don't need such news. Let them exist, because they will continue to exist. Then we have physical health. You explore ways to prioritize your physical health, including exercise, nutrition, and then adequate rest. And then adequate rest. This adequate rest is very, very necessary. Some of us are victims to this because you don't have time. You don't take time to rest. You think you can work 48 hours inside 24 hours. If you don't rest, your body will rest you by force. Stress reduction. Learn relaxation techniques to reduce stress levels and restore inner calm and balance. Sometimes just go to a quiet place. Your room, depending on where you are living, your room may be a quiet place. Your balcony may be a quiet place. Front even of your house may be a quiet place. Evenings or early morning, maybe when you can get a quiet place. Just stretch all this, your yoga mat, relax, face up, and then just relax your body into the environment. Just relax, just give away, just relax, and then look at the sky, look at the beauties of the environment and the rest of them. And stress reduction, learn relaxation techniques to reduce stress levels and restore inner calm and balance. And then now, question and answer session is where we'll be going into, because various people have various problems at any point in time. So these are some of the few things we need to share this evening. And at this time, I wish to say we are all welcome once again, and then we are free to ask questions where we really need to. Good evening. Are we here?
Fellow Nigeria, we are here.
Oh, fellow Nigerian, how is the new baby?
Yeah, the new baby is doing well. Only that the new baby had decided to make up his mind that he will eat front and back.
That's a good one.
But we thank God for his mercies.
That's a good one. And how is the mom?
They are all doing well by the mercies of God.
All right. All right. So we decided this evening to talk about stress management, and then building resilience. So the floor is ours in case somebody have any observation, question, and the rest of them, so can discuss.
Yeah,
yes.
Personally for me, okay. For me too. Number one, start with first by thanking you for even choosing the topic in question. This is something very, very important. in the concept of education, because in principle, you can't even learn when you're not healthy. So it simply means that education cannot occur when you are not in your best, healthy position, because oftentimes you need your intellect to be able to process the information you get from the learning process. But when you're not whole, when you're not healthy, even your intellect will fail to process the information, properly. And therefore, looking at stress presently is also regarded as one of the most potent killer on earth presently, because it manifests in different forms. Because you see where stress affects retention rates in learning. You see where stress affects even processing rate in learning. For those who are working and going to school, sometimes the stress of work even makes them, they don't make the best of their learning processes. Even those who are teachers too, because of stress, sometimes some come to school or to classes, bringing domestic stress and pressure into the learning environment. And you see it work out. You see it hardly, the teacher is not able to really transfer that knowledge that he or she came to transfer. So evidently, we're looking at stress here as one of the major hindrance of proper education. And it cut across everyone. Even the person sitting in class to learn, even the administrator of the process, whether you're administering or supervising a learning process, if you are stressed at the end of the day, it lowers capacity to deliver. So anyhow you go about it, stress is at the center of what we're looking at, that holistic, education. And the part I find most, I think I'll end with is, oftentimes, most stress are actually self-induced. And my advice has always been that people will learn how to separate corrective stress and preventive stress. Preventive stress is there are things you may need to, the pressure you may need to put on you just to stop you from putting yourself in a difficult situation. That's what you call discipline. That's what you call self-control. While on the other hand, if you take some things for granted, you might end up doing corrective stress, which is where you are under pressure to correct what is avoidable. In that kind of situation, you realize you're just complicating your life with your own hands. And so the lesson for me, the takeaway here is, just like you said, avoid people who put you under pressure. If you go to places where people put you under pressure because of comparison, when you come home, the press you carry, as far as I'm concerned, you bought it with your own hand. You entered your car, picked your car, drove to where they would give you toxicity. You are the one that caused it. If you have restrained yourself and stay back at home and avoid that window and that channel, just like also you shared, what do you call it, the issue of, in fact, I have a personal experience I do. I check the dose of bad news I hear per day. Yes. I know I will hear it. Why? Because if you're a teacher who wants to be current, sometimes you may need to know what is happening in Nigeria, in the environment, just so that you'll be able to inculcate it in your classes and your teaching. But then there's a limit. I have like a scale. There's a level I would say I've heard so much negativity today. If I've heard it to a particular number, I don't want to hear any other negativity again. I just feel, look, for today, I've taken enough dose for the day, just so that that sanity will still be there. Because anything beyond that, you as a person will become toxic in the process. And that is why I believe they design remote, just so that you monitor. The remote is not meant for changing channel. It's also meant for you to change your stress channels.
Channel.
Thank you so much. I believe anybody listening to this,
this is wonderful. It's wonderful.